Hey, what's going on, guys? This is John from TheUndercoverBrony. So, today is June 3rd, 2022. And for most people, that's just a normal day. But for me, this marks 10 years of me being in the Brony fandom. I can't believe it either. I've been in this fandom for 10 whole freaking years. It's insane. June 3rd, 2012 was when I became a Brony. And a lot has happened over the last 10 years, both with myself and this channel. So I thought I'd do a nice big old video to kind of tell you guys all about it. So I'm going to start out with my Brony story, which takes place between 2011 and 2012. I first heard about My Little Pony through a Let's Player that I used to watch on YouTube who went by the name Playing with My Wii. Now, back in those days, you could actually have background and banner and everything to your YouTube channel. And he decided to ponify it and make it everything Pinkie Pie. And my first reaction to that is, what the heck are you doing? That's really weird. And then I started finding out that some of my friends were Bronies. My friend Bryan, who you've seen on this channel plenty of times, he had posted a picture of Rainbow Dash saluting in front of an American flag with the caption, "I'm sorry, but I think this pic is hilarious." And then I found out that my friend Seth had also been watching My Little Pony and made OCs, pony OCs of all the different doctors from Doctor Who. And I'm just like, dear God, please tell me you're not a Brony. And he said he was. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? Come on. Then another Let's Player that I watch, he goes by the name of Argon Matrix. We actually did an interview with him about his Vim fiction stories, which you can find in our interview playlist. He had posted on Twitter, and he decided to go and say, I haven't been uploading content because of ... this. And then he linked to the Ticketmaster, and he continued on saying that this show makes me happy, it helps me through tough times, all that fun stuff. That was the breaking point for me. I went onto Facebook that same day, posted on Facebook, why is it that whenever I turn my back, another guy I respect turned into a Brony? Basically meaning, if you are a Brony, you are dead to me. Needless to say, I was a hater. June 3rd, 2012 rolls around. I was asked to babysit some little girls from my old church. They were 3 and 4 years old, respectively. And they had a G1 toy. We were doing a G1 puzzle. And as we're doing the puzzle, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Let me just watch one episode, get it out of my system, never have to watch it again. So we go onto their Netflix, and we turn on the episode Sweet and Elite, Season 2, Episode 9. This is the one where Rarity is trying to make a name for herself in Canterlot and is avoiding her friends throughout the entirety of Twilight's birthday that year. When I first saw this episode, the first scene I saw that made me question everything was when Rarity started kissing Celestia's hooves. And at that point, I'm just like, what is this show? You never see this anywhere. What is this show? And so I continued watching it. I actually enjoyed the song becoming popular. We watched the next episode, which was Secret of My Excess. And when Spike declared his love for Rarity as they were falling, I thought that for some reason there was some sort of overarching plot that I didn't know about, but actually that wasn't the case at all. And then after that, we went on to Family Appreciation Day. And this was after the parents had already gotten back. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I need to see another episode. This is awesome. After I left, I went straight home and I watched from the series premiere all the way up to Swarm of the Century. And then I went to bed because at that time I was on third shift at my job. So I'm on my way to work and I call Bryan up and we're talking for a minute and I tell him, so dude, I have something to admit to you. I am really scared right now. And he's like, why the hell are you scared? I think I'm turning into a Brony. And his response, I kid you not, was, well, they took another one. And so began the long journey of this channel and my time in the Brony fandom. The next thing I want to talk about is the rekindling of my friendship with Bryan. Now, we had been friends since I moved up to Wisconsin in 2002. And during high school, which was between 2006 and 2010, we kind of had a falling out. Nothing major between us. We just were seeing each other less and less. There wasn't anything that was pulling us apart other than life. And after I became a Brony, I decided to come up to him and start talking with him again about ponies. And it actually rekindled the friendship. We went to several conventions together after that. We helped launch TheUndercoverBrony. Unfortunately, now Bryan is no longer part of the Brony fandom. But I'll tell you this, I'm still going strong. I don't plan to be leaving anytime soon. I have no ill will towards Bryan for wanting to leave the fandom. In fact, this hat right here was actually the hat that used to be his, but he gave to me as a token of goodwill after telling me he was no longer a Brony. So let's move on to the birth of the Undercover Brony channel. Now, for those of you on TikTok, this is a fairly new channel, but this channel has actually been going on since 2012. I initially had my buddy Seth come on with me. We did a couple of videos. He had to step away from the Brony fandom for several years due to some personal issues. But then I recruited Bryan on. The conception of the channel itself is quite interesting. When Seth and I were talking about this, we were like, what could we do to make this an interesting sounding channel? And we decided on The Undercover Brony, mainly because this was a new experience for me. This was a new experience for him as well. We had had YouTube channels in the past, me personally being at the time Dark Samus 288, now the Nerdcast, and him with his own Let's Play channel with his brother. But what was interesting was we were going into uncharted waters here. We had never had a fandom-centered channel before, so this was going to be interesting. After we made that name, I decided to do a video collaboration. I guess you could call it a PMV, even though there was barely editing that happened with it. It was a mixture of clips from the Daring Do episode, Read It and Weep, and a techno remix of the Indiana Jones theme that I'd found a few years before on Newgrounds. That video in particular gained about 33,000 views at the time of this recording. So it actually hit pretty high up right away. I believe it got like 13,000 views in the first couple of months, which is pretty cool. Then Bryan came into the picture, and we decided to start doing commentaries. This was something that helped us get a lot of views initially and a lot of subscribers initially. In fact, we started the channel in July of 2012, and by January of 2013, we had already amassed our first 100 subscribers. But unfortunately, as with anything, those commentaries had to be taken down and uploaded somewhere else. This was due to the fact that YouTube started cracking down pretty hard on the pony content when it came to Hasbro's sake. Most of our commentary is actually uploaded onto Dailymotion. You can find a link for that in the description if you're interested to see some of our older videos. But that was one of the big things there. We got inspiration from that by a YouTube channel called Otaku Ascended. they actually did watch parties for the new MOP episodes, and they also did commentaries themselves. One of the other things I can remember specifically about those commentaries is I was watching one of their commentaries on the Cutie Pox, and when Apple Bloom went up and wiggled her flank at Sakura, a thought popped into my head and I put it into the commentary, and I'm very proud of this.
I bet you can mix up a brew to fix anything.
My dear Apple Bloom, do not shake your flank at me, for I do not like what I see.
That was good. That was clever.
Yeah.
And then 2013 rolls around. I was part of a group called My Little Brony Reactions Are Magic. We only did a couple of episodes with them. It was a lesser known Bronies React. The first one we did was for the season 3 premiere. There was also one for Magic Duel and Wonderbolts Academy. And watching that Magic Duel video, I met one of my best friends from this fandom, Snakeskin94. He had a lot of really funny jokes in that video. In fact, I'll put a couple of them here.
I have to be at my best when she arrives with the delegates from Saddle Arabia.
The
I
best.
can't believe she's trusting me with the entertainment.
Wait. What was that? What did she say?
I have to be at my best when she arrives with the delegates from Saddle Arabia.
Saddle Arabia? There are Arabs and friendship is magic. Score!
What?
Oh my god, that is fantastic. Oh god.
Well, Trixie,
The fandom is loving this.
I decided, hey, let's bring him on for an interview, because at the time we were also doing interviews. I'll explain that a little bit later. We did a couple of different collaborative videos, one on Everfree Radio, which we had a blatant, passionate hatred towards, and we also did one talking about the season 4 animatics that had come out. I decided at that point in 2014 that we were going to start doing pony reviews. These were different than the normal reviews you would see on any other YouTube channel. These were longer form, these were unscripted, and they were all in all just going off the cuff and having a lot of fun. And they tended to actually get quite a bit of traction. Those were our second biggest viewed videos that came out of the channel. We have been doing these reviews since 2014. We have done every single episode from season 4 premiere all the way up to the end of the show, including the My Little Pony movie. We also have done all of season 1, a majority of season 2, probably about the first third. We're still working on the rest of those retro reviews. They will be coming very soon, but for now, we've been enjoying doing those reviews as well. We eventually want to have every single episode from all 222 reviews of the show. We also did stuff for Equestria Girls. We did stuff every time that there was any news about a new season, a new animatic, anything of that nature. Those were a lot of fun. And we also did talk a lot about our time in the Brony fandom in some of those videos as well. And also in 2013 to 2014, I was part of a Facebook page as well, known simply as Fluttershy. I have been a fan of this Facebook page for quite some time, and I had met an individual by the name of Chrome Dash. At the time, Chrome Dash was known as doing film fiction stories, but he is now known as Pegasus, doing Brony fandom music. Now, he was also a contributor to this page, and when they were asking for someone to come on to assist with doing posts on the page, I jumped at the chance and I got the position. And then about 2014, it was decided that people had just started falling off from the channel. And I talked to the then head of the page and I said, hey, you know, the page has been dormant for a while, hasn't been many posts, but let me ask you this. I am noticing that the likes for this page have been steadily going up, even though no posts had been coming through on it. So I was like, do you mind if I take control of the channel completely? Because no one else had been posting stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'd still be happy to post on this Facebook page. He gave me full control, so as of today, I am in full control. The Fluttershy Facebook page, also linked in the description, has a total of 7,440 likes, which I think is pretty awesome. It's steadily grown. We still get quite a bit of following. It's been a lot of fun. Now, I also want to talk about meeting my wife, because initially, before I met my wife, I had actually met my now brother-in-law, Flash. And he was a close friend to one of my mutuals known as Zephyr Wing. We met, had some fun, walked around a park that was near our house, and just shot the shit, had some fun. And then later, when I met my wife, I found out she was actually a Pegasus and was already into the show, with her favorite character being Applejack, so that was already a +1 modifier in my book. I found out that we had a lot more in common than just ponies. We had a lot of the same views on things, and over time our love grew deeper, and she has been my wife for nearly 5 years now. We're actually going to be celebrating our 5th anniversary on August 19th of this year. So as I was editing this, I noticed that I didn't talk about the My Little Pony related stuff we did during our wedding. So I thought I'd retroactively put it in here. The first thing I want to say is that we actually had My Little Pony as part of our wedding vows.
And to watch My Little Pony with you if you watch WWE with me.
Deal. We also had put in 5 My Little Pony songs during our wedding and reception. The first one was for the processional, which was called Tales of the Land by Night Breeze. The second one we had was Archie's remix of Love is in Bloom as our recessional, after the kiss and as everyone was coming out. The third song we played was My Cadis by Matthew Moiser as our first dance. The fourth and fifth songs, which were My Arms Around Her by Underpony and an instrumental of You're in My Head Like a Catchy Song, played during the open dance floor. So moving on to some convention stories. I have been to a total of 11 conventions. These have all been for all 3 days of that convention to be counted as part of this list. So the first convention that I ever went to was back in September of 2012, and it was known as Midwestria. It was a 1-year convention. It had quite a few big names there. We were going to have Daniel Ingram there, but unfortunately he was not able to make it. But we had Charlotte Fullerton, Amy Keenan-Rogers, and Emma Larson there as the guests of honor, which was pretty cool. In addition, they had some really awesome stuff in their vendor hall. I actually found a light-up etched glass of the Hylian crest over there, which was really cool. And I also got quite a few pony prints. In fact, the one up on the top there, that Fluttershy, that actually came from that first Brony convention. Taps was there as one of the musicians, and he actually gave that print away. So that was pretty cool. And it was also signed by him as well. One of the things that I can remember about Midwestria that was really cool was the fact that they were originally going to be doing a rave at 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday. They started the rave, and then they realized that something was off. We found out that the subs, which account for 1/3 of the base, was not working. They had us stand in line for probably, I would say, about an hour and a half while they got somebody out to fix it. And because it was so close to their informal dance, they decided to combine the two. So when we had our rave, it was lights, lasers, fog, strobe, everything you can imagine. It was really, really fun and really cool. This is where I got to see individuals like Exploding Heart Technique, Fenning, Taps, and Seventh Element all for the first time. And let me say, I've been longtime fans of them ever since. Moving on, The next year and the year after, me and Bryan decided to go to TrotCon 2013 and 2014. The first year, nothing much really happened, but there was some general weirdness, as with any convention. But 2014 was really cool because Ponyville Live, which we had actually just affiliated with at the time, they brought us on to do camera work for them, which was a lot of fun, to be completely honest with you. This is where I got to see Animated James, even though he no longer does pony videos. At the time, that was probably one of the funniest panels I had ever seen at a Brony convention, so that was kind of cool. And then from 2014 all the way up to 2021 being last year, and this year being 2022, I will have been to every single Ponyville Cider Fest in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Nothing big has happened there. I have gotten quite a few interviews from there, one that shall not be mentioned, and one from Josh Scorcher, which was pretty awesome. I actually got to room with him back in, I believe it was Cider Fest 2015, and then Winnie City 2016, where I got to room with him a couple of times, so that was pretty cool. One of the big things I can tell you about Cider Fest is they actually switched hotels. So at the closing ceremonies of 2019, we had Charlie, who was the con chair, come up and say, this will be the last Ponyville Cider Fest at this hotel. That big pause right there really shook us to our core. We thought that this was going to be the last of it, but it was just moving to a different hotel. So that was, needless to say, there was a lot of people shouting, F you, Charlie, come on now. Then I have also been to MLP MSP, just for 1 year, being 2015. Me, my buddy Mike, and Bryan all went up to the hotel up there. We were staffing that year, so we were able to get a little bit of a discount on both our hotel room and our get free badges, so that helped out a lot. That was the only reason I was able to go. One of the things I can tell you from there that was really cool was, first of all, we got to see Mall of America, which I had never been to before. We were able to see and go into that Nickelodeon-themed theme park, which was really cool. That was also when Black Griffin and Michelle Krieber first debuted their song Equality, and I remember waiting for months for that to be uploaded to YouTube because it was one of my favorite songs that they did for their performances there. One other thing I can remember is we got to see Slice of Life, the 100th episode, at that convention. And what was really cool about it was when Vinyl and Octavia started doing their set, they had the rave setup going in the front, which I'll put footage to right here. So needless to say, that was awesome. Right after that viewing, they brought up Emma Larson to talk about the creative process behind the episode. And he brought up some really interesting points, like he was going to have Tom be right outside Rarity's Boutique with Opalescence sitting on top of it. And then at the end, having a swarm of changelings coming into Town Hall to save Kevin the Changeling, which is pretty funny. And then I did 2 years of Winnie City PonyCon. I've had a lot of fun here. It's been a great convention. We've had it at the Hyatt in Schaumburg. Like I said, I did have some quality bonding time with Josh Scorcher over there. He actually showed me speed art in the room of the screw tape letters from C.S. Lewis with speed art of the characters talking, which was really, really cool. Another thing that we used to do on this channel, I'm hoping to eventually one day continue this, but it was known as Pony Psychology. I've always been a psychology buff, and I love looking at shows from a psychological aspect. The 3 episodes we've done have been about Scootaloo's emotional state during Sleepless in Ponyville, which to this day is still one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. The second one was talking about some smaller tidbits from season 3, some of the more emotional moments. And then the third one was all about Thanks for the Memories and the 5 stages of grief. Next thing I want to talk about is interviews that I've had. Now, there have been about 30 or 40 interviews that I've done, but I can tell you quite a few of them that have been a lot of fun. The first one that I remember doing that was really cool was M.A. Larson. Now, we had met him at Midwestria 2012, and this was back when we were still using our phones to record footage. The only time we use our phones to do anything like that anymore is if we're at a convention capturing con footage. But I can tell you that he was one of the most easygoing guys. We've actually interviewed him twice. The first one being Midwestria 2012 and then TrotCon 2014. We got to talk to him about his writing process and all that for the first one. And then the second one was all about Pennyroyal Academy. One of the other big ones that I can list off right here was Argo Damon. He is a source filmmaker, a video producer, and he has a lot of fun stuff on his channel. It was a lot of fun getting to talk to him, getting to talk about his creative process. I've also gotten to talk about some of the bigger names in the Brony fandom, such as AC Racebest, Silver Quill, Golden Fox, Little Shy FIM. Being able to talk to all of those guys and pick their brains a little bit about what they do in the fandom, their reviews, their other videos, lots of fun stuff. And one of my favorites was AC Racebest because we were able to talk about everything from his Brony stuff and Brony's React all the way to stuff from low budgets and all of his different stuff on that as well. One of the other big ones, me and Snakeskin actually got to interview Prince Whatever. He was a lot of fun to pick his brain apart, being able to talk about his music, his style of music, and all of that kind of stuff. That was a lot of fun. Now, to wrap this all up, I want to actually just say a thank you to everyone who has ever viewed the channel, everyone who has ever subscribed, ever left a comment, everything. You guys are what keep us going. You guys are what make this all worth it. And we hope to continue bringing more pony content with G5 onward. Again, thank you so much everyone for watching this video. I know this was quite a bit rambly, but I wanted to kind of break down stuff and just talk about some of the fun stuff that I've done over this 10 years of being in the Brony fandom. So until next time, that's it from me, John, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out, Dragon!